Okay, here we are. We are live and we are excited about being live today because we're going to go live on Instagram too, just for shits and giggles. Now, of course, we'll see how this all works itself out. I am a let's go at 80% kind of person, and I think it's something that is really important to adopt. We are talking about how to mobile optimize, go high level funnels and websites. Why is this important? Well, on the funnel builds that we've done, if you haven't seen the last two lives, go jump over to YouTube. They'll be sitting there in the regular videos. But what we're talking about is how to recreate any funnel or website from anywhere on the interwebs. If it's not ClickFunnels 1.0, 2.0 is coming, then you're going to have to rebuild it. And when you rebuild it, it's important to understand that you will build on desktop first, and then you will build on mobile if needed. But we can mobile optimize on high level very quickly and efficiently. Today wasn't always that way, but of course, high level is always going to improve. And if you come in and vote things up, they're going to even get to them faster. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over and we're going to start building. So let me jump over and change my mic and everything out. You'll see here under the business name website that is part of the naming convention. We want to always name things really, really well. We have a couple of pages. Now, it's not going to really matter which one we start with because this is really about the overall, everything is the same. So mobile optimize, the reason that you want to mobile optimize, first of all, is for speed, I think. So you want things to load quickly. We talked last time about how to do the images, and if you'd like a repeat on that, please just let me know. But what we've done is we resized, we made them the right size, and we also did WebP, and we used something called Photopea, which is a free website that you can use to resize, and it doesn't cost anything. It looks very similar to Photoshop. The guys make a killing on ads. If you're into SaaS, it's a really cool business model to take a look at. So on this website, we have built it out for desktop. Now we want to mobile optimize. You'll see here in the middle at the top that the desktop mode is enabled, and I would click here to mobile mode when I want to see what it will look like on mobile. Now, please be clear that on mobile, if you have any code in the preview, it doesn't always look exactly like it would when it is on the real phones or real devices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to preview this. And what I do is I right click and I'm going to inspect the page. I'm always in Google Chrome, of course. Now you can see I'm set here for an iPhone 12 Pro. If yours comes full across, you'll see here this little icon, toggle the device toolbar. If I go back, I'm now on desktop. If I click, I'm now on mobile. And then what I can do here is I can change it out based on different iPhone, Galaxy, iPads, Surface Pros, etc. It's challenging to mobile optimize for iPad and everything, every device and every browser, etc. So what we want to do is we want to choose a size that's fairly common. I'll go with an SE or an XR. Usually they're a little bit wider, right? And then there's the Pro. You can see how it changed so minimally, right? And we can see immediately we have some issues. And what are our biggest issues? Usually padding, margin, font size, and image size. What we want to do is come back inside the editor, and I'm going to leave that there. I can X out, but I can easily refresh every time I make a change. So that works as well. So let's jump over to mobile mode. And depending on how you like to work, if you want to work on images first, you want to work on margins first, spacing first, if you want to work on font size first, or if you want to take it from top to bottom. Everything works. A system is better. Then you're going to work through this quickly and easier because you're going to remember what your margins and padding were for mobile, right? So I'm going to start by section and work my way down and see if I can get it to work in the way that I would like it to. So we may need some code, or we may need to go into desktop view and make a few changes. We also may want to hide different elements, we call them inside of high level, on mobile as well. And a lot of those that are hidden on mobile are images. So the first thing we're going to do is click on this top element. This is our navigation menu. You can see it opening here on the right hand side. We can see the name of it. Here, it automatically detected that I was on a mobile phone. Do you see this little tiny thing here? When I'm on desktop, if I click over to desktop and I'm still on the navigation menu, it's now moved to the little desktop. So I know I am adjusting for whatever icon is up, right? So I'm okay with the padding for 0, 0, and 0 on the desktop for the navigation menu. Now, the image size, let's see what we can do. We've got text align. Now, in my experience for readability, aligning text on mobile as center seems to work best for the way that we as humans read on mobile. So you may want to center your text on mobile. And then you want to pay attention to the font size and the font weight on mobile as well. So I'm going to scroll down and see if I can see my image size for the mobile. Now, do I see anything here for mobile size on this logo? I do not. So at this time, we don't have that ability. What I do need to do then is code it. And you'll need the code for screens that are, and you get to choose, right? 740, etc., depending on how wide. That's not this class, nor am I the expert for that. I just am going to funnel hack that to death. But it's okay for me because I can see on mobile, I get the hamburger menu. So over under one of these, it does state mobile view icon. They call it the bars, but I call it a hamburger menu, right? So there's no item found. That's it. Those are our options, okay? So perfect. That works for me. Now we're going to move into our next pieces. We can see the column and we can see the element for the next couple of pieces. We cannot see the row or the column. Do you remember when we were, and I hate saying this if you're here for the first time, right? Finding the column and the row. Once we hid some of the padding, we went to 0 on it. It's hard to grab a hold of those little handlebars. So we may have to come into our layers and see if we want to make any changes to this when we're on mobile. So remember that as well. But for me, I'm seeing that we've got a get started button that's a lot lower than the book a demo button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one on the right. I'm going to remind myself how much padding, etc. I had. So I didn't have any on the padding or margin on the top button, but the second button as well, I didn't have any padding or margin. So what I would probably do for mobile is negative this one out. So and I'm just going to play with this and see if negative 60 works. Not quite. So let's try, is that a 65? I don't think it's that even. No, it's not. It's been a while since I've done this, so I used to be able to guess pixels, but I don't anymore. 75. Oh, did that hit 75? It didn't. So close. I'm going to go. You can see the difference in these two buttons, and the reason is because this has a border and this does not. Does that make sense? What we might do on this one is make sure that under advanced, we actually have a border and keep the border in the same size and color that we had for this one. It was a 2-pixel solid border. Now they line up better. So let's jump back over here. I didn't see that on desktop, but on mobile, I'm able to clean a few things up. So I'm going to save that because I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. The SEO metadata is going to keep opening. We will keep closing that. So far, so good. Call to action area buttons look great. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to check anybody watching. A few people, that's wonderful. There's no comments, so that means you can hear me today. Love it. A little bit of PTSD from when I went live and didn't have sound. We're looking at text align. I'm going to center that. And this one here is way too big for me for the font size on mobile. So I'm going to just play with it and see 6. And if I mobile that, I love a funnel, always a funnel. Now, again, I'm not the best designer there is, but I do know my own preference and I've had a bit of training. And I do love a headline that goes down, so the eye goes down, right? So this works for me size-wise. If I was a little bit bigger and I went to 30, it may not, yeah, see how, now there's no actual wording in here. We're just working on what text we have, but I really liked where it was. So I can just do my undo there and that looks good. I'm going to hit save because I want to keep, as I like something, I'm going to keep liking it and keep going all the way down. Now, as I look at this, when I don't have the element setting thingamajigger, the orange thing on top of it, this button actually looks bigger than this button. So I might remove the border on this one, depending on which one is more important, because right now I can see this one really clearly on mobile, more so than this one. So think that through as you're going. How do things appear as you're moving through? Now, you could, if you'd like, move these closer together, but my concern with that is different mobile sizes. If we come too skinny, when something is really thin, it might not, they might overlap. So check and double check different sizes, okay? This here, I'm gonna mobile optimize this by simply putting it in the middle. And bullet points don't look so great when you center them. I don't know why. I don't like them on high level at all. So this is something to think through when you are mobile optimizing. I'm going to keep going here for a little bit. And that one is centered, but it doesn't look centered. We're going to check that out. What you can do with this is you could duplicate this. Now, I don't recommend you duplicate all sections for mobile because you've got to think about load speed time. You also want to double check, where is most of your traffic coming from? Is it on mobile, or how are they viewing it? Pardon me. Is it on mobile? Is it on desktop? Make sure you've got Google Analytics connected. Now, what you can do is this one, the top one is for desktop. I like top one is desktop, bottom one is mobile. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to advanced here and I'm going to turn the visibility off. Top one's desktop, pardon me. I'm going to turn the visibility off for mobile on the top one. I'm going to go back to desktop and this one's on. I'm going to get this confused myself. Turn it off. So now I've got just one here and I've got just one here. So this could be a different element. It doesn't need to be bullet points if I want it to be different, right? Because the way that it went weird on me here was the bullet stayed on the, didn't like it, don't like it. It could work. For you, it's up to you. Everybody's got a personal preference. But you can see how I duplicated it out. One is for desktop and one is for mobile. And that's a lot of the way that I also do images. Sometimes an image on desktop's perfect, and sometimes the image on the mobile looks terrible, which if you notice, where's our image? Where is it? Let me come back this way. Where's the image? Ha ha ha. It's down below. And that is because on mobile, the way that this is going to view is top left and work its way over. Once all top left has been displayed, it's going to go to top right column and display, and then the next column and display. If you have more than one or two columns, that's how it's going to display for you. So this you might turn off on mobile. So I'm going to simply come over here to advanced and just turn that off. If I want it in on mobile, I could put it in the background of this row, but I'd have to turn it off on desktop. So you can start to see what's happening. Now, do I need the image here? No, I need the call to action here first before I need the images, right? So you saw my call to action button. My computer screen is very big, but is way down here, right? So we've got some problems already. So we have these two buttons, and that's what's conflicting when I come into desktop mode or mobile mode. Do you see them? There's two here. So when we were on desktop and we were building these out, they were needing to be left aligned, right aligned, padding, etc. So we may very well decide to turn one of them off. So let me refresh this and see what we have so far. We may decide to turn one of these off. Yes? I don't know if I saved that properly. Not yet. Okay. So sign up or more about us, or I might remove some of the padding and margin. So let's play with it. Let's go to mobile mode, and I can't even see one of them on the mobile. So remember I keep saying that's the other one, and if you haven't, I apologize. And the other one I called button number 1, so I know which one I'm working with. So I'm going to come over to advanced. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to come to general, and I'm going to come down here to my margin was -45. So on the mobile, I'm going to put this to 0 for now so that I can see where things are at. So that's not so bad, right? One on top of the other. And then this one here was a 0, 0, and I just moved this one up so it was beside each other on desktop. Now, what I can do, and what I will do, is center these. They're both centered. But this one, for some reason, 2020, is it the column? How did I get that? Isn't that funny? I don't remember how I got these the way that I got them. Button number 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into, is it the CTA, 1 column? No, not that one. I think it's this one. 2 column, first column, because we've got button 1 and button 2. So let's open button 1, and let's jump over and take a look at we've got 7, 7, 20, and 20, and that's button number 1. So then let's go to button number 2, and we've got -45, 7, 7. Ah, here it is. Here's our -40. Did you see that? I missed that when I was in the button 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here because I know I can see button number 2 now. And I'm going to change this part to 0. And then this one, for some reason, oh, there we go, button align, center on mobile. Now we're getting there. Do you see how it took a couple of minutes for me to kind of even remember from last week what I was doing and kind of what it needed? So on mobile, I might, with my margin at the top of the second button, I might give it a 10. And that doesn't look horrendous. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit save. I'm going to jump back to my desktop view and make sure that I didn't muck anything up, right? And then come back to my mobile view. Now, I may very well take out some of the copy. I may make this a bit smaller. I may move my manifesto up a little bit because my buttons are not visible. So let's refresh this and see what we got. Okay, it's not bad, but it isn't showing well for my button, is it? So then I'm going to need to pay attention to the copy design, right? Design is really about the readability of something as well. You need speed bumps, you need spacing, white spacing, padding, and margins, and you need different sentences to stand out, because the first thing I'm going to do when I'm on any device, on anything, including my own, is exactly this. I'm gonna go the whole page. I'm gonna look at the whole thing first. I'm gonna go no, all the way up, all the way down, and then if it sounds interesting based on what I'm able to catch with my eye, I will scroll back up, and then I will look and read it a little bit more effectively, quickly, whatever word I'm looking for. I'll just read it, right? And have you ever been to a website that was just all text and just like even 3 sentences of text is too much for me? So this here, I might cut that out. Like it's just too much for me because it sounds amazingly written, but what does it matter? It doesn't matter. So we've got to get our ego out of this. We've got to pay attention to consumers and buying behaviors and how they interact. If you need a heat map on your funnel or website to prove it, like go get Hotjar. It'll shock you what people are looking at and skimming by and Xing out. They're gone. Peace, see you later, alligator. This is too hard to read. And on mobile, it needs to be even easier to read because the font size is going to be too small anyway, right? Some of y'all on your font size on mobile is way too small. So that's something else to think through. This is a 16. I wouldn't go any smaller on either screen. Yeah, pause. How many of you need to run over right now, right, and change your mobile? I would do it as well. I would give it a whirl. So this is how you're going to simply and easily and effectively continue to walk through your whole website and funnel and mobile optimize it. We've got padding, we've got margins, we've got text align. We might have to remove some stuff. We have to remove some images. Yes, and we've got to get our calls to action in the right places and above the fold. And we want to keep our font size, not so much our headings, but our body text big enough that we can actually read it. And we do not ever want more than 1 or 2 sentences at a time on mobile because a block of text without a space is not going to get read. So you may write your copy for desktop and you may write it for mobile if you're caught up on the fact that people need to read all this copy, because there are 2 people always that are going to want to read every bit of your copy. And I've gone back when I'm really interested in something and taken a better look at it. Absolutely. But I don't know if I've ever read it all. And if I did, I had a problem with trust. I had a problem understanding what you're actually selling. I was on somebody's AI funnel the other day. I'm telling you, I had to scroll it 3 times. I was getting impatient. I didn't want to read the whole thing. And you know what I did? I went to the FAQs at the bottom, and one of them said something about, like, is it a course or something? And I opened it, and I don't think it said, is it a course? But in the FAQ answer, he said, it's a course. Nowhere could I get that on that damn sales page and I was frustrated with it. Now, I was curious as all get up what he was selling, so I stuck around a little bit longer, but not as a consumer of his wanting to buy, more as what's going on in AI, what are people selling, right? So there's a lesson. Pay attention to yourself. Are you really, really, really reading all of this, right? Probably not. Probably not. So those are my tips for mobile. Now, if you want to bring in images, sometimes they're nice in a background instead of sitting, and then you want to make them smaller as well. So this is not on a domain, but you want to go to, is it GT metrics? I'm going to guess this. For page load speed. Yes. When you're done, you're going to want to come on here and do a page load speed test for desktop and for mobile. So let's test Pamela Joan down just for fun. We haven't done this in a while. Now it says Vancouver, Canada. When I'm from Vancouver, Canada, so of course it remembers. That's the server I chose a long time ago. We're going to go allow all just because we're living on the wild side. It takes a couple of minutes putting me into the job queue. There's a few people wanting to have this done today, and it's going to spit out a report. And I usually pay attention to the top couple pieces of this because they're going to be, oh my God, you've got too many images, 9 times out of 10. And then some of them are around code. So be careful with your CSS. Be careful with all the stuff that you're adding in, because does it matter to your customer if they never get to your goddamn page because it didn't load? So all your fanciness isn't going to work. Now, please know that Go High Level runs on Go High Level. And Go High Level notices when they improve their page load speed for their businesses, stuff really, really speed up, and they notice more conversions. They tell me, I believe them. So we got a B today. I've been hired in a B before. So log in or something. Oh, come on, don't do that. Performance. Oh, I can't. Okay, I think I've got a free account. I'm gonna have to create a free account. But what you wanna do is you want to take a look at what are the most critical, and it'll give it to you in color codes. Usually a red, right? I know I've got this probably on a different browser, but go ahead and jump in and do this and then pay attention. What's going on? Go High Level will change their code. I've got a lot of code. I need to remove some code. What is some of the code that is on mine that needs to be removed? Was back in the day when they didn't have the capability to mobile optimize. I had to write all that code. Remove image, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so you need to constantly look at these things and make some changes. So I'm going to come back to my other screen. And with that, if you have questions, comments, concerns, let me flip to the other screen. There we go. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, and you want to know more about High Level, how to build some funnels, all of those things, just reach out down below and I'll get all that information to you. I've built everything 376,000 times and will continue to keep building this. Why? Because something we're going to get printed on a hat here pretty quick, and that's exit power. And a business is going to give you exit power. What's exit power? Exit power is the financial ability to get yourself out of any situation at any time. And a business will do that, and a well-functioning, well-structured, well-organized, well-automated business will do that for you. And there's nothing better than High Level. So let's get it mobile optimized. And my name is Pamela Dale. Peace out. I'm going to see you tomorrow. We're going live every single day. We're going to talk about calendar funnels tomorrow, but we're going to do this every day. See you then. Have an amazing day, everyone.